how you would actually describe NFTs in one sentence to somebody completely new to this industry.
Recorded ownership of digital assets. It's essentially the ability to own something that is digital. Because in the traditional world, everything digital was basically free. And this changes that. And that's just a small part of it. So yes, there's a bit of a bubble right now. Yes, there's tons of money. Everyone's got tons of ETH and they're throwing it around the NFT market. The reality is that this is actually a very meaningful technology. What it allows you to do is operate within a digital world, own things, transfer things. And that can be a piece of artwork. It can be the member of a community like Bored Ape Yacht Club, or it could be IP. It could be tokenized real estate. It could be digital real estate. It can be everything. So if you think about this as like this ledger where you can own these assets and transfer them, store them, and you've got that trusted ownership of it, it's kind of a game changer. Also, digital identity is going on to NFTs as well. I've seen it's all happening. So I happened to attend the pre-showing of the Dolce & Gabbana NFT. Okay. Unbelievable. So they had both a physical dress, a physical jacket, and some jewelry, which also was digitally rendered in the Unreal Engine. So for perfect 4K Metaverse experience. But they'd also created a woman's dress and a man's jacket and some jewelry, a crown, in fact, that couldn't be created in real life. And it was like the men's jacket. I don't really like Dolce & Gabbana, but this was gorgeous. And you're like, oh, I get it now. This is like, this is the same ownership that we will all do, buying stuff that's ridiculously overpriced because we want to be affiliated with that brand or that particular cultural movement. It's the same thing. So fashion's going that way. Even things like ticketing are going this way as well. Because, for example, with ticket scalping, if you're a music artist, what happens is so many people take a slice of your pie. But if you can record who's got the ticket and how it transfers, you can keep the prices and the exchange of value between you and the person. So, yes, it's going to big brands. We're seeing it everywhere. Even McDonald's issued an NFT. Yeah. And a lot of this stuff is worthless, but a lot of it's just collectibles. And a lot of it is also meaningful communities growing around these NFTs. And we've seen that with CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, things like Loops that are building from scratch. And we don't really know where it's going, but we just kind of know that it's captured everybody's attention. So there's a bunch of people investing in stuff like what Gary Vaynerchuk is doing, or Ashton Kushner, where they're building media companies from the ground up based around characters that aren't even fully formed. And people participate in that. And the hope is that you can build something really meaningful, a franchise, like a Disney franchise out of it. So that's getting a lot of attention. Also, there's a lot of collectible art that's getting huge attention. So we're starting to see some massive art collectors in that space, not just the Beeple thing, but even generative art designed by AI. And that kind of stuff is a new movement, and I think it's big and it's going to get bigger. And there's a lot of money in the space, so people will start collecting stuff like that. Then there's these community groups that I've talked about as well. People are getting really interested in what this could all mean around Bored Ape Yacht Club, and we'll see that community building out different features and benefits as well. So people are wanting to invest in that. The other side of the equation is, look, every brand wants to get involved because it's a bit of a cash grab. They think they can sell anything in a digital form and make money. That doesn't work really, because this whole movement, the whole of this crypto movement is about community, and it has to be kind of a shared value system. So you can't just keep selling stuff and hoping that it's a new revenue source, because people will just get pissed off with it in the end.
So obviously community matters, but everybody's minting stuff right now. It's a bit of a cash grab, as you said. So how can investors like myself actually spot a good NFT investment?
I have no idea. And I have reached out to everybody and spoken to everybody, because the problem is it's not like Bitcoin, which you can fractionalize it down and you can put in $10. Yeah. If you want to put a CryptoPunk, you have to stump up a few $1 million. So you know that that's probably a good project. It'll go up and down in price, sure. But how are the rest of us supposed to deal with it? I literally don't know. So I've sought everybody's advice, the kind of leading thinkers in the space. And they just say, well, we don't really know, but get involved in projects that have meaning to you, whether it's a like-minded group of people or just a community that you're interested in. I've actually stayed quite clear of it because I don't know how to approach it. because it is difficult. And you kind of know that everything is worth nothing, but some stuff isn't. Maybe if you approach it in that way, it's okay. So you can buy stuff. And I've bought a few NFTs because they've got meaning to me. And with no anticipation of making money out of it, but just seeing and feeling what it's like and getting to understand it a bit and seeing how OpenSea works and MetaMask works and all of the things that you have to do to do this.
But we're also seeing crazy gas fees because most of these NFTs are being built on Ethereum. We're starting to see more happening on Solana. So where do you see this going forward? Do you think that, ETH 2.0 is actually going to help solve this? Or do you think things like other chains like Solana, for example, are actually going to push it out of the market?
I think the volume of this, if you listen to Mark Zuckerberg, he clearly referenced both NFTs and crypto. Right, this is going to be the future of the digital world and of all digital goods and the digital recorded ownership of everything. So a chain like Ethereum, as a layer one, it can't deal with it because there's too much going on. So I think it'll push to the layer twos and will push to Solana, Avalanche, and all of these fast, ultra fast chains that are less decentralized, but you exchange it for lower cost and faster speeds. And maybe that's okay for some of this stuff. Maybe it's not for your CryptoPunk. So maybe you decide which ones you want. That you want the most decentralized, securest chain for the most expensive assets, and maybe not. And I think we'll be able to get them to move around chains as well, so it won't just stay on one chain.
How would you describe the metaverse? It's so vague.
It is vague. And how I describe it, it is not one place. It is not Ready Player One where somebody owns this new world that we live in. What it is the digitally fluid world where we can exist between the physical world and the digital world, where we will work, socialize, and earn in this new world. And it's layers between us talking on a Zoom screen to augmented reality, to full virtual reality, to 3D. They're all part of this. So there is no one destination. It's kind of an end game for where all of this is going. And it's across all sorts. So Facebook or Meta is just one of it, one part of it.
So how do NFTs then fit into that? Because Facebook is obviously this mainstream social media platform, and suddenly they're going into crypto. How? Where's that connection?
Keyword that everybody was waiting for, because we didn't believe he would say it, which is interoperability. That people need to be able to take their digital goods and move them around to different places. So what he's basically conceding is NFTs are real. They're important to this space. In fact, the space can't operate without it. And anything that you have within the Facebook Meta world should be transferable elsewhere and vice versa. Now, let's see how that plays out. But if that is the case, that's a very big deal for the whole crypto space. And I think he also understands they're building Facebook DM. He also understands how cryptocurrency plays a role in this too. So that kind of intersection between NFTs and cryptocurrencies are the core part of the metaverse. Without it, we're just in games where we have stuff that has no value because we can't take it anywhere else.
And do you think this is quite an iconic step then for adoption for the entire space?
Yes, everybody needs to drop their cynicism because they don't like Facebook. Irrelevant. 3.5 billion people use them. This is the biggest network on Earth. And they basically said the future of digital world is in the metaverse. And that includes NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and all the other parts of it. And it's not one place. So that's basically going to onboard everybody into this space. Because soon everybody will own an NFT because Facebook will make it easy to do that. And again, some versions will be less decentralized than we want. Some will be based around DAO structures and egalitarian. Others won't be. And that's okay because in the digital world, unlike the physical world, we can just pick up our stuff and go somewhere else. And that's a really cool feature. If you don't like how Meta treats you, go to Decentraland. If you don't like how Decentraland treats you, go to Sandbox or Epic Games. That's a really big thing.